Mateo with Technoweld. I'm the repair tech here, and I'm going to show you about the 251i LCD today. All the accessories it comes with are inside your cabinet door. So we have your ground clamp, your MIG gun, your manual. We have the regulator here on the back. It comes on the back of the machine. Comes with your standard chains to hook up your tanks. Today we're running it at 220. So your power switch and everything is here in the back. Power cord, your on and off switch, your two gases. You have your regular MIG for your 75-25 mix, and then you have your spool gun for your gas there. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, and we're gonna take a look at the LCD screen. This is how your screen's gonna look when you turn it on. What I recommend doing is always do a factory reset right away. So you just go to your settings, you just keep scrolling, and you'll see a factory reset. You click on it, it's highlighted, click it again, and you just hit your home button. Nothing looks like it happens, and then you go back in your settings. I like to read mine on Imperial, so I switch that to Imperial. And then you can mess with your brightness and everything else like that. Your home button to go back to home after every time. We're just going to do basic MIG steel. So click on your MIG steel. We recommend using your 75-25 new program. This shows you where to put your weld power connector. We're going to do 30 wire, 16 gauge. This is your amperage, this is your voltage. This is your inductance. So obviously 0 would be a more narrow bead, 10 would be a wider bead. It starts off for your lower settings, it would be your torch trigger. You can run 2T or 4T. It comes standard 2T, where you just hold your trigger and it welds like normal, or else just 4T, where you just press it and then you can let go of your trigger. If you press it again, it stops it. So yeah, we're gonna go with 2T. Pre-gas time, just how long it takes for the gas to kick in once you pull the trigger. Wire feed speed. This comes at base 20%. This is pretty important. This is how fast you want your wire feed to speed. So 20 is pretty slow. We recommend at least 50, 60. I like my speed a little faster, so 75. Burn back time, post gas time, I mean your gas after you let go. You can save up to 5 different settings, then you can load them in once you start over. So that's the basic settings there. And then you just kind of play with it as you're going. When you're feeding your wire on there, you can hit your wire jog button, so you don't have to hold the trigger and wait for it forever. And that kicks your drive motor going straight away. There's a gas purge button. We don't have gas hooked up to this at the moment. So we have MIG manual, which will show. Some people prefer to do a manual than having all the automatic settings. So I mean, you could still change all this. It's going to be the same settings for that part. We do have a chart for the ones that do want to do it manually, for all your different wire sizes and everything like that. So that will be on the inside of your door here. So now we're going to set up the MIG gun. So your MIG gun goes into this slot right here. The one thing to notice with this is there's a wing nut right here on the inside. And that's how you loosen it up. So when you put it in there, make sure it's snug in there, and then tighten that down. Okay, and now the other part with it is your 5-pin connection. Okay, so I give it a tug. All right, so now we're setting up some wire. We got 035 wire here. All right, so your drive rolls, you're just gonna unscrew this part. Pull it off here. It's got a washer on the outside. So we got 035 drive roll there. You want the 3.5 facing out for using 3.5. So you put your washer back on. There's two holes you got to match up here. So slides right on. Put your washer in there. Your set screw, your tension screw. You want that snug down there. Make sure it's not moving. Okay, so now you have your spool hub assembly. take this thingy off. Get your roll of wire here. You want it to feed from the bottom, like that. Set her on there. Set this guy back on there. There we go. And if you got a bend in your wire, just give it a cut. Feed it into your thing here. Make sure it goes over the top. So there's little grooves in here. You want to make sure it's falling over the groove in that hole. It is a dual. It's a dual drive roll. The bigger machines have them. Okay. So you want to feed it all the way through. Good. Put your things down. Lock them in place, and these are tensioners. So now we go back to set this up for mixed steel. New program. Your weld power cable is connected. We're on 3.5 wire. So go to 3.5. Okay. So your drive rolls are moving. If you're just holding the trigger, it does go a little slow. So that's what this wire jog button is for. So now you just got to press it and it'll feed through. Press it again to stop it. Make sure this is all tight. And you can just cut off. And you're all set. The other thing I wanted to show is the setting up a spool gun. They don't come with the machine, but I do recommend them if you're going to use aluminum a lot. So if you just click make aluminum, it's going to show you no spool gun or spool gun. We're going to set up a spool gun today, so let's do that. It's still the same with, setting up your weld power cable. 35. Okay, so same settings there. I'm going to show you how to plug it in. Alrighty, so setting up the spool gun. Your spool guns are going to come like this. So these two go into this hole down here. Then they're going to be on the inside of this machine over here. So your gas line goes in where it says your spool gun gas. There, we recommend undoing the MIG gas, just letting it sit there. This guy connects in right here. You'll see this little right here. Alright, so now that you got that stuff hooked up on the inside of the machine, your weld power cable, tighten it. On the positive, you have your 5-pin connection. So there is 2 down here, you got to pay attention. The left side is your MIG, it says MIG, and your spool gun's right there in the middle. So you just kind of twist it until it snaps. So make sure, give it a little tug, make sure it's in there. You also obviously need your ground clamp. Then you got your spool gun here. Open that up, put your wire on there, and then you got to feed it through this little contraption here. And then you can play with your tension and everything in there, and then close it back up. And you got your regular trigger, and you'll hear that clicking, and that's how you know she's working. Alrighty, so now we're going to set up the stick. Whatever you're using, just set up. So there's no weld power connector on this one. You just plug it in your stinger to the positive, and then you still have your ground cable plugged into the negative. So it's the same thing, amperage, voltage, everything like that. The settings are a little different than the other stuff. So you have your hot start feature. If your electrode is hard to start, you can turn that up. It gives you like a little boost. Arc force. So if your electrode's sticking to the material a lot, you can turn that up and it helps not stick. Your voltage reduction device, that's what VRD stands for. You can turn that on. So if you have it set up and you're not quite welding yet, and you just set it down, it helps it from, you know, sparking. So I mean, that's your features on there. And so yeah, that's stick. All right, so now we're gonna switch to lift TIG. So this is reverse polarity. So that means your ground cable's in your positive and your TIG torch is in your negative. So you just go ahead and select what you're using, amperage, voltage. The TIG torch that you can get for this machine does not have a gas valve on it. So your gas is always open, so just keep that in mind. Your torch and your negative. Plug it into your gas. And then your ground cable into your positive, and you're good to go.